Today we'll be talking through my experience of fixing the layer line gaps in a 3D print. And we'll also be talking about what makes 3D printers amazing and why I love having one. We'll start off with that and then we'll get into fixing the problem later. So if you want to just skip to fixing the problem later, I'll try to put in the comments down, in the description down below where to skip to and for time-wise, but let's get into what makes 3D printers amazing. This 3D printer, by the way, is the Ender 3 version 2, which is made by Creality. It's an awesome 3D printer, pretty low price point too for what you get. And what makes it so amazing is, well, you can repeat stuff, you can make fine details, it does a lot of the heavy lifting for making something, and you can make it out of plastic. Versus often, before this I was tied to making stuff out of metal and wood, which takes a lot of carving, cutting, and all of the above, just to shape it into something nice, versus this can shape into three-dimensional objects without you having to constantly do anything. You do have to kind of create the start file or use a file that someone else created from a 3D print repository website, kind of like Thingiverse. And basically what happens is you start off with this 3D object or thing you want to make. So you start with the file here, you import it into your computer, download it to your computer or whatever, and then you put it into a program called a slicer. The slicer then converts this like three-dimensional object into a language that the 3D printer can understand. Then you put that onto your 3D printer, and your 3D printer then takes the filament from the spool, pushes it through the extruder, down the Boda system, and into the hot end. Now this may look differently for a few different types of 3D printers, but your standard, most commonly used 3D printers, that's how it works. Then once you're done, you end up with a very functional or decorative or something that is actually legit. It's just not like something that you can't touch and it just breaks. You can actually print things that actually work and function. You can even do things from like vices, pipe clamps, hand planers. Of course, you can't print the blade, but I've even done like a blowgun mouthpiece and stuff like that. I mean, like, options are endless, and it's just bound by imagination basically on what you can do with one of these. And then there's some really expensive 3D printers that are really cool. They look very differently than this, but they print in metal, which is like really cool. Just really outside of my price point at this point. So hopefully this has kind of opened the world to you as far as why 3D printers are amazing and why I have one and why I love it so much. Now let's get into fixing the layer gaps, and that can be really a pain. The gaps between layers as you print. Now it could either be like your walls are not anchored all the way, there's a little gap in between, or some layers that have gaps and then some layers that are very tight. Now what we're looking at here is what's called under extrusion. So number one, and the simplest thing to fix, is your filament. Make sure your filament's not all twisted or tangled or knotted. If it's any of those, it's harder for your extruder to pull the filament through. So just fix your filament, make sure everything's wound very nice and neat. Then the next thing I would check is check your settings. Is your settings set hot enough for your filament? Now, often filaments come with a heating, like a temperature range, and it's all in Celsius, by the way. This one, the max temperature rating was 220 degrees Celsius. I was trying cooler and I was getting under extrusion, so it wasn't able to push the filament through the hot end because the hot end wasn't hot enough. So the extruder was having to work harder, so it was pushing less filament through, resulting in less filament in each layer, which by definition is under extrusion. So make sure your temperature is hot enough. I had to go to the max temperature. Then also check for clogs in your hot end, and how you do that is if it's like curling around a lot, that can be a symptom of your clog. So what you do for that is you start heating up your 3D printer and you do what's called a cold pull. Don't let it get all the way to temperature. It's important. Don't let it get all the way to temperature. And then you squeeze the extruder arm just to relieve the pressure so it's not pinching the filament, and then you yank it out. And when you yank it out, it should have the shape of your hot end and your printer nozzle, and that should have cleared off the excess or that junk or clog or whatever's causing that problem. Just cut off that piece that has that shape, so you just make sure you get rid of all that junk, and you push it back through, feed it through your system, let it come out with when it's all the way up to temperature. And if you still have symptoms of a clog, pull out a pin, and in this case my Ender 3 version 2 came with one. Probably can't see in the camera, it's very fine and small, and you thread it up through the hole in your hot end nozzle and just kind of push it out, and then do another cold pull for good measure and try out again. Now to do that cold pull after you push the pin through, you got to let it cool down enough to yank it out and make sure you get the junk out. So after you've made sure there's no clog, The next thing I'd probably check is your filament diameter. In this case, the filament that I had, filament said it was 1.75 millimeter in diameter. In reality, when I measured with calipers and a micrometer, it was more like 1.64. So I had to correct the settings for that in the slicer. So make sure the filament is the size that is advertised, and then make sure that that diameter matches the diameter that's in your slicer. If not, change the diameter setting in your slicer so that the 3D printer knows how much filament to put out when it's printing. And along that lines, you may need to change your extrusion multiplier, which I had to, or it could also be called your, what's it called? The flow rate? Yeah, I think it's also called flow rate. So if your filament's all the right diameter, not tied up, you got the right temperature, flow rates or extrusion multiplier is correct, and the diameter of the filament is correct, it's probably not your filament's fault that you're having those layers with gaps in between. The other thing you can check for is your retraction, which is how much it pulls back in between. I did not have that problem. I think you probably have to mess with some settings and from how things are set in stock to run into that one, but maybe not. Let me know in the comments if you run into the problem with retraction and what you noticed with that. The next thing I did run into was my extruder, the top of the extruder. The stock Ender extruder arm is plastic, and what can happen over time or can happen when it's new and manufactured is there can be a little hairline fracture where the idler wheel connects into that plastic arm because there is a metal insert, and it seems to be where that metal insert connects to the plastic becomes a weak point that can create a hairline fracture. And the resulting symptoms I got was irregular under extrusion. Some layers would be under extruded, some layers would look beautiful. So if you're running into that, check your extruder arm. The way to tell is you take it apart, look at the extruder arm where that idler wheel connects in, look at it from the underside, kind of like stress it a little bit with your hand and see if you see a hairline fracture. Don't stress it too much because you don't want to create one if there's no issue there. The way to fix it is you need to get a new extruder arm. Now you can either get a stock extruder arm, or for me, I got a dual gear extruder, which is awesome. It seems to work a little better. There's some settings and stuff you have to go into to make sure that works correctly on your user interface for your 3D printer. That's a story for another day or somebody else to do a video on, because there's people who have videos on that. But I would suggest going with the dual gear setup. Now you can't just buy any dual gear setup, because some of the dual gear setups they kind of self-destruct over time because the gears just grind into the aluminum body of the extruder, the top of the extruder. But this one, the gears are beveled a little bit and there's a washer on it, so it keeps it from self-destroying. And it's pretty awesome. It's the same time I also upgraded to the Capricorn Bowden tube, and that is an improvement because it also, I think it handles a higher temperature, I'm not sure on that, but it also has less friction and a few other benefits as well. So I will try to put in the description a link to that for the extruder head, the top of the extruder, and maybe the Bowden tube as well. I think they might have been a one in all package or something like that. But that was a really good upgrade. While we're talking about upgrade, something to help reduce under extrusion as well is a filament guide of some sort, just so it's not as tight, just to reduce the friction again as it goes through the extruder. The last thing, by the way, is check your gears for after you've done all this and you're still getting under extrusion. The chances are that as you fix the other issues of under extrusion, you create yourself another problem. And that other problem, by the way, is that there's filament that's built up on the gears. And what you just need to do is take the gears off, brush them off, clean them off, and you're good to go. That can also happen over time. So let's say you have everything running perfectly, you've been printing for a really long time, and all of a sudden you're getting under extrusion. Well, your gears may be slipping on your filament because there's too much filament dust, so to speak, built up on those gears. This video you can see why I love 3D printing and why 3D printing is amazing, and also how to fix under extrusion to remove those pesky gaps in your layers. Please leave comments down below whether they're questions or thoughts or that you liked this video or what you liked about this video. I'd love to hear from you guys. I will try to get back to you guys as well. Just want to let you guys know your comments do mean a lot to me, and I like hearing from you guys. Also, make sure to hit the thumbs up button. That really helps the channel. It helps everybody know that, hey, this is a good video. And also share it. If you know anybody who would find this video helpful or enjoy it, make sure you share it. We'd love to see you guys in future videos, and we'll talk to you later. Bye.